Now let's take a look at using 3D layers to create some detail that we might want to change later. So we could sculpt in an expression on this guy or any other sort of detail that we want, but let's say that we want to create some detail that we might want to modify or change later, maybe like some sort of an expression. So to do that, we've got our tool active on the canvas. We're going to come down to layers, so right under geometry. Right now we don't have any layers, so we're going to make sure we're at the top level and just hit the plus sign, and you can see there's an untitled layer here now, and we're in record mode. So anything that we do now will be saved onto this layer. So I'm just going to use the move brush, get a large draw size. I'm going to turn off, make sure symmetry is off, and then I can come in and start to just modify this. So I'm going to bring one of these brows down. Maybe this one I'll bring up a little bit more. Pull his mouth up a little bit. And just create kind of a little bit more of an expression than what we had before. Normally you're going to want to build your models with a kind of default non-expressive face without an expression on it, and so you'll be able to rig it, and then the animators will be able to set those expressions. But in some cases you may want to, for presentation purposes, have a little bit more of an unusual expression. Kind of move his mouth, his snout a little bit. Okay, maybe let me pull his bottom of his mouth up a little. In some cases, masking can help too. You can kind of mask this out, and then that'll allow you to create a little bit more of a sharper line there. So there's just kind of a shocked or confused sort of a look. And when we're done, we can hit this little button, and we can come up to this this layer that we have, and we can delete it if we want to. We can also invert it, okay? Or we can name it. So we'll just call it expression. And so now what we can do is if we dial this down, it's going to take it back to our base shape before we added the expression. So you can see I can sort of get an all the way look, or I can go like halfway if I went too far. I can always also hit the eye icon to turn it off or on. So you can have a whole library of expressions that you want to add. You can have those all in here, and then you can combine different expressions together. So for instance, if I wanted to do another expression, let's say I'll make another layer, and this one I'll do sort of a both brows up sort of thing. A little bit more of like just a surprise. Okay, turn that off. There we go. And then we can add those together. So I can have one, or I can add in elements of the other one, or just part of the other one, depending on what I want to do. So, you could even separate it out. So just have like eyebrow left, eyebrow right, etc. If you want to get rid of any of these, you can just delete that and it'll take you back. All right. So have a little fun with that. Make sure to create a new layer for each one and create an expression on those. You want to make sure that when you're doing it, you have record on when you're actually sculpting, and that'll save it within that particular layer. Okay. And then if you want to save your result and get rid of the layers, you can hit Bake All, or you can delete the layer if you want to go back to the default. All right. So the next thing that we want to do is take a look at working with materials and lights before we actually start painting this guy. So we'll take a look at that next.